Well, if I have my realtor who handpicks their inspector, maybe they won't tell me all the problems so the realtor can get the commission.
So an inspector is not going to cover pests.
You're buying a used house, there's going to be problems. Even if you buy a new house, there's going to be problems. All right, Anthony, why get a home inspection?
Yeah, home inspection is a really important step in the process. It's twofold. One, it's your skin in the game as the buyer to have your piece to bring to the negotiation table.
Yeah, because the state of Michigan's buyer beware.
Correct.
Right. So.
And most listing contracts are as is. So this is an opportunity to provide some feedback when going through that process. And then twofold is if you're also doing what's called a pass-fail inspection to strengthen the offer, maybe you just want to make sure everything's working effectively. You're able to also get that punch list for the future when you're purchasing your home of what to expect, what to save up for, so that there's no surprises.
Yeah, so if I heard you right, you do the inspection so you know what you're getting yourself into.
Correct.
Right, and then you can choose, in your pass-fail scenario, you can choose to move forward as is, or you can choose to walk out, or our little sneaky thing is, you can say, hey, we're leaving unless you want to do X, Y, and Z, which leaves it in the seller's court as to whether they want to fix it to keep you in the transaction, right?
Correct,
So,
yes.
Okay. So what would you say the best way to find a home inspector is?
I think you really want to lean on the realtor partner that you've already vetted and have put your trust in. We do a lot of transactions throughout the area that you're looking to work in. We've gone through that process already for you of working with multiple home inspectors to really know who we can put our backing behind, our trust. However, if you already know somebody in the family or somebody you've worked with in the past that you do trust, we're never going to stop you or not recommend that you use the person you'd like.
So here's an objection I've heard around that. Well, if I have my realtor who handpicks their inspector, maybe they won't tell me all the problems so the realtor can get the commission. What do you think about that?
You know, that's the game of hearsay. You're always going to deal with something like that. At the end of the day, if I'm a licensed professional and the state's going to allow me to continue being a licensed professional, there's probably no pending litigation against me in any capacity in that regard. Also, you just have to take your time then to vet your realtor partner. Again, you can always use your own inspector if that's something that you're worried about. But as the realtor, their fiduciary is to your responsibility and to your best interest, which would mean using a very reputable person.
You touched on this, but I think if you see people's reviews and you see nothing but glowing reviews or mainly glowing reviews about the person, then you can pretty much assume that they're not doing a bunch of weird stuff.
Correct.
Right? So do your due diligence on who you hire, and then you can trust them.
Absolutely.
Is that fair to say?
100%.
Yeah, I agree with that. Okay, what would you ask your inspector?
If there's anything in particular with your original walkthrough that may have stood out to you as alarming or something of concern, maybe something you dealt with in the past with your own home, that's something I would lay up front. Also, if there's anything pre-disclosed by the listing agent or seller that may be an issue, definitely want to put a fine-tooth comb towards that. And really, we just want to make sure all our majors are taken care of. All our mechanicals are working, all of our machinery. If it's a well or septic, you can also go into, and we'll talk a little bit more into that later, about adding some of these things on to make sure everything's working effectively.
Yeah, I always say health, safety, and structural, right? Those are really the things. You're buying a used house, there's going to be problems. Even if you buy a new house, there's going to be problems, right? And we're looking for health, safety, structural, things we didn't see, right? So when we go through, and the inspector is going to give you a general list of everything that's kind of wrong with it or things to look deeper into. Those are the questions I would ask is around, maintenance related items, things that, what is something here that's like a big ticket thing that I should know about? Anything else you'd add to that?
Really, the only other questions is when you've talked to your inspector and you've decided exactly what you're going to do inspection-wise in the house, are there any add-ons you're going to do? Figure out the duration and the date that's going to work with you, because everybody's got work schedules, so that you can make it accordingly, because you, the buyer, have the right to show up. Your realtor is going to be there for you no matter what, but it's your interest to go as well.
All right, so this one's super important. What doesn't an inspector cover?
So an inspector is not going to cover pests. They're not going to cover things like radon testing up front. It's an add-on feature. Chimney or sewer scopes, as well as if you do have a well and septic versus city sewer and water, that's going to be an add-on as well. So just some extra things that you can have them do, just at an additional cost from the standard home inspection.
And we would suggest that they do it.
Yes.
Pay the extra, right? Radon causes cancer. You might as well spend the extra $100 and some bucks and skip the cancer.
This isn't the time to be cheap.
Correct. Skip 100%. The cancer, spend the money.
100%.
We should create a bumper sticker.
We should.
Skip the cancer, spend the money.
Spend the money.
Right? Okay. In finalization here, what else would you say about the inspection process or hiring an inspector?
just make sure you do your due diligence, like you had said, Joe. Make sure you're hiring a really reliable person. And then once you get your final report, go through everything in detail. You can call the inspector. They will answer. You're going to go through that with your realtor as well. And then bring your concerns if you have any. If not, best of luck getting to the clear to close.
All right. If you want to work with a great agent who takes being a fiduciary as serious as Anthony does, go ahead and give us a call. We'd love to match you up with someone like him. Thank you.